Welcome to the Retreat Leaders Podcast, your sanctuary with retreat experts, where we spill the tea on retreat success. Here we dive into crafting transformational guest experiences, talk about how to avoid pitfalls, and unlock marketing secrets. Whether you're a seasoned guru or a budding enthusiast, we've got the inside scoop for you. Join us as we learn how to flourish in this magical world of retreats. Hey guys, welcome back to the Retreat Leaders Podcast. It's Shannon. Today I want to talk about something that has been coming up in a lot of conversations lately, and it's all about who do you need to become when your retreat planning isn't working. Because here's the thing, y'all have the vision, you have the passion, maybe you've hosted a retreat or two, or you're dreaming of it, you're following strategies, maybe you've even bought some programs and posted pretty graphics, and the results are meh. Right? You're not filling spots like you thought. You're not hitting those income goals. You do have income goals, right? Don't make me come after you. You better have income goals. But you're burning time and energy and maybe money, and you're just not seeing the return. And here's the truth I want to share with you with lots of love and zero bullshit. If what you're doing right now isn't working, it's not about doing more. It's about becoming more. Your retreat planning isn't what's broken, but your identity might be. I know, that sounds a little bit harsh, but stick with me here. Because this isn't about blame, it's about radical responsibility. Let's say your goal is to earn $250,000 a year hosting retreats. Amazing. Totally doable. I'm actually going to pause there right now, because if I said that number and you were like, oh no, that's not even possible, then honest to goodness, you're listening to the wrong podcast, or you're just not ready. You're thinking way too small, and this isn't the space for you. Not yet. When you realize that $250,000 is totally doable, and so is $500,000, so is $1 million, when you realize that, you're in the right space. But whatever that number is, I want you to get honest. When you think of the number, whatever your number is, I want you to get honest. I want you to ask yourself, are you making decisions like someone earning that amount a year? The big amount, the goal amount, not that small shit, the big number. Are you making decisions like someone earning that number? Are you showing up with the confidence, the clarity, and the consistency of someone who believes in that number? Are your daily habits, your energy, your schedule, your identity aligned with that version of yourself who gets that number? Because here's the thing. You don't get what you want. You get who you are. I want to say that again. You don't get what you want. You get who you are, who you're matched for. You get what you're matched for. That's why, if you've ever thought about things and you're like, why didn't I get this then? But then you realized you went through all this other stuff and you got that thing later and you were ready for it then. You were equipped for it then. You were thinking in that mindset. You were acting in that, like you were ready for it then. We need to be ready for it now. We need to step into the version of ourselves who does hit that goal, that big goal. And let's break this down. So we'll break it down a little bit. If you're stuck in hustle mode, maybe even frozen mode, but let's say you're stuck in hustle mode and you're spinning your wheels trying to plan the perfect retreat, to post the perfect reel, or even copying someone else's strategy. You're missing the point. You're missing the point if you're doing all these things, because it's not just about retreat planning and marketing strategies, although yes, you do need those. But it is about aligning your identity with the results that you say you want. So let's go through this. Let's ask yourself some questions. I really want you to pause. Maybe after I ask the question, you pause this podcast and answer it. Here's the first question. What does the retreat leader who earns $250,000 a year, $500,000 a year, whatever that number is, what does that retreat leader who earns that money do every day? Answer that question. Maybe she blocks her calendar with non-negotiable CEO time. She prioritizes revenue-generating activities like outreach and strategic partnerships over tweaking Canva graphics for hours. Maybe she's very organized. She knows her numbers every day. She knows her numbers. I have a good friend, Erin Haig, who calls it coffee and QuickBooks. Shout out, Erin. I just love that. She was doing that while we were in France. Every day, it's coffee and QuickBooks. But a retreat leader who earns big money every day, she knows her numbers. Hey, retreat leaders, pause that retreat planning for just a second because I've got something you do not want to miss. I'm headed to London this October to host a live event that's all about teaching you how to host a retreat that's not just transformational, but actually profitable. Imagine sipping tea or champagne with other like-minded leaders while mapping out your next sold-out retreat. It's happening at the gorgeous Waldorf Hilton in London. I'm spilling all the secrets from pricing to planning, marketing to mindset, and you'll walk away with a strategy you can actually use. No fluff, no BS, just results. So head to retreatmastermindtraining.com and come join me across the pond. Here's another question. What kind of mindset work does she do? What kind of mindset work does she do? Answer that question. Every day. Maybe she journals, she visualizes, maybe she reminds herself every day that her work changes lives. She charges what she's worth and doesn't apologize for it. What kind of mindset work does she do? Another question. Who does she surround herself with? Who do you surround yourself with? Maybe she's in rooms, in person and virtual, with others who are playing big. Y'all, this is important. This is why I joined the Genius Network. This is why I choose to surround myself with other people who think and play big. Maybe she learns from mentors who have actually walked the walk, not just talked the talk. And I've got a little something to say about that here because in this retreat industry now, we are seeing a lot of mentors and leaders popping up. And for only $7, you can learn how to make $1 million a year. Or $7,000, it really doesn't even matter. At the end of the day, what really matters is, have they walked the walk? Have they walked the walk? That's who you want to listen to. That's who you want to surround yourself with. That's the room that you want to be in. She's also listening to books, podcasts, and shows that speak growth, not scarcity. In this section of who she wants to surround herself with, this question, I really want you to think hard of who you spend time with. Are they cheering you on and catapulting you to these big dreams? Or are they like, oh, really? Are they holding you back? Are they talking shit about the economy and whatever? Like, are they bringing you down? And you know how I feel about the economy and the world and how that affects us. It doesn't. Listen to my other podcast on that. But who she surrounds herself with matters. Another question. How does she present herself? How does she present herself? This is kind of twofold to me. One is not in a fake way, right? She shows up on Zoom, events, even social media, confident, grounded, and magnetic, right? But also, how do you put yourself together? Does that matter to you? Like for me, I feel my most abundant, my most passionate, my most like I'm getting it when I have put a little something into the effort of how I feel and look by my presentation, exterior presentation, just as much as my interior. It does matter to me. It doesn't to everybody, but it matters to me. How you show up energetically and physically determines how you're going to feel. So how does she present herself? She dragging herself in her pajamas and coming over and going, let me journal this bullshit. That's on both energetics and physically, right? How does she present herself? This kind of goes into the very last question I want you to ask yourself, which is how does she take care of her body and her energy? How do you take care of your body and your energy? Nourishing yourself, moving your body, getting support when you need it. She doesn't burn herself out trying to prove her worth. Because here's the thing, there is a difference between wishing and becoming. You can wish for success, or you can become the person who creates it. And becoming doesn't mean pretending. It doesn't mean pretending. There's a difference between pretending and acting as if you have something, right? But it does mean choosing every single day to act, think, plan, and move from the version of you who already has the thing you want. So you may think that's pretending, but that's not. And this doesn't work the other way around. You don't get the thing and then act as if you're that person. You act as if you are that person. You move, you think, you become that person, and you'll get the thing. You want your retreat planning to actually work? Then work like the leader who already fills her retreats. What does that look like? Sell like the woman who knows her offer changes lives. Lead like the business owner who isn't afraid to go all in. And this isn't about meditating more. Although, look, I'm all for journaling, manifesting, meditating, vision boarding, all those good things. I even have a course on it outlining exactly what I do. And I do think that it makes a powerful difference. But don't get it twisted. Energetics without action is daydreaming. Energetics without action is daydreaming. What bridges the gap between your current reality and your dream retreat business is becoming the kind of person who is willing to do the uncomfortable, aligned, focused work to bring it to life. Because here's what I want you to know. To sum this all up, I want you to know this. You don't need to find her. You don't need to earn her. The version of you who fills retreats with ease, earns consistently, and leads with impact, she's already in you. I'm telling you, she is already in you. You just need to start acting like her today. Today. You can do that today. What's one thing you could change today to start acting like that? To start acting like the person who earns that big goal. And if you don't know where to start, y'all know that I have my Retreat Leader membership you can join, where we talk strategy and mindset, marketing and identity, support, stretch goals, all of those things. Or find a mentor or a course or a program or a room that plays big. Because you were never meant to do this alone, and you're definitely not meant to keep playing small. Let's build your retreat business and the identity to match. I look forward to hearing about it. Thanks for listening to the Retreat Leaders Podcast. Learn more at www.theretreatranch.com. See you next time.